Hey guys, Jordan here. In this video, I'm going to be answering a real estate photography question. So let's get into it. All right, so today's question, I think it's the second question from Jesus, but hey, appreciate the questions, Jesus. He said, would you shoot RAW or JPEG or camera settings in general? So I'm not going to go into all the camera settings, but I definitely will address the RAW versus JPEG. And I've shot with both. We've had success with both, but for the last several years, it's been all about RAW. You have so much more flexibility during the editing process. If you mess up at the property in regards to white balance, it is so much easier on the editing side of things, and it doesn't take any longer at a property. It's just, it is a larger file size that you're dealing with typically because it has so much more information. Bring a JPEG into Lightroom, reduce the highlights all the way, boost the shadows all the way, and see what you have, right? Bring a RAW into Lightroom. This is probably the best test for you can see visually. Oh my gosh, JPEG has so much less data in the files than the RAW images. I would probably, honestly, I'd probably think, would I rather have a bracketed set of JPEGs or a single RAW image to edit? And I would probably pick the single RAW, zero exposure value, than a bracketed set of JPEGs. And I could probably create a better result. For me, it's RAW all day long, but I've done both. I have experience with both. If file size is an issue, maybe you have a super small SD card storage capacity, and you have to shoot JPEG because it's so small. But some camera manufacturers outside of Sony, but I wish they would incorporate it. So Nikons and Canons typically have different resolution sizes for their RAW images, so you can create a much smaller RAW size for both Canon and Nikon, but you can't do that for Sony. So Sony, if you're listening, that would be an awesome feature to have, just the ability to make a smaller resolution RAW image. So those are my thoughts on JPEG versus RAW, but also know the capability. So even if you shoot RAW, depending on if you're blending multiple exposures or the file format that you're using, if it's creating a TIFF file or if it's creating a DNG, if it's creating a DNG file, you typically have your native white balance tint setting, so you can adjust it where it looks like you were there shooting at that setting. If you blend it and it creates a TIFF file, it's more like a JPEG, and you can only make it more yellow or more blue. If those are the cases, you have to fine-tune your edits before you blend those together, because it's a lot easier to edit your white balance adjustments with RAW images before you make blends and stuff like that than after, when it's already a JPEG or a TIFF file or whatever. So anyways, some of my thoughts on JPEG versus RAW. If you got value out of this, hit that like button and subscribe to our channel, as we consistently put out real estate photography content just like this. And as always, thanks for watching. We will see you guys on the next one.